over the aliens a little bit. Obviously, you never just want to run straight the Marine. Always try to get parasites off, ambush, and if you're biting a Marine, fighting them, maybe Nightmare you can go Marine.
I'm stuck on a wall. Alright, I'm here.
Oh, I get killed in here. Okay. Let's just go into computer lab.
Let me check my respawn real quick.
Hold on. Okay. When you're already at the feet of a Marine, you want to strafe around them and bite them. What you don't want to do is jump. If you jump, you're like if you're first person spectating a Nightmare, if you jump, you are basically inside of the muzzle of the gun.
Yeah, let me just fire without doing anything. I'll just stand still and fire.
Like that very quickly kills me. But
I'm not even trying there, right? So
get on even ground. Y'all run a slope.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a slow. Let's just do uneven.
If I strafe around him, and like I can be here, like the bullets don't hit. He has to aim down, and if he aims down and I go around him, a lot of the bullets don't hit. So that's like the base movement as a Marine and as an alien is strafing.
Try jumping real quick.
So jumping jumping to get to him, like I want to be wall jumping to get to him quickly. But then I strafe, or I can do something like this, run up the wall and jump over him. That especially like new players, it really disorients them.
Yeah, because then they start like shooting up and they're like doing this number and they're like, oh, I can't.
Remember, every time something goes over your head, you have to do a 180-degree turn. And in general, people really suck shooting at stuff that's above them. Because in most games, everything is like 2D. It's like on a horizontal plane. But if you go into the vertical, Marines really have trouble killing you.
Let me see. Let me just run in and you do two different strategies and see what that looks like for them.
Okay.
So you don't tell me and we'll just.
Okay, I'm gonna do like. This is like the normal jumping around fighting.
All right, and then there's the. Okay, I'm coming towards sub.
I hope you could see a little bit the difference. So
yeah, it's a lot harder to hit you there.
And once you are at them, just strafe and bite.
Yeah, and you know, people learn to counter different strategies, so if you find that one particular strategy is losing a lot to a person, you can identify them in a fight. You might, on impulse, choose a different one, but the general rule of them being, when they're lower hive skill, whenever you're like going above them and you start adding vertical elements to it, you're adding a whole nother dimension of difficulty to their tracking you.
And you can also do that in team play. Like, imagine there's another Skulk here with me. Like, I can go in first and, like, dance on the ceiling, like, draw fire. And then the other Skulk just comes in and numbs him while he's distracted and wasted a lot of bullets on me. You don't always have to get the kill. The same if I'm going Lerk. Especially also if I'm not that good. With the Lerk, the safest spot is above a Marine. Like, above a Marine going over him a lot. Like here, it's very limited space, but especially if you're more in the open area.
Let's go to crowds. Yeah. I always, my biggest weakness is when a Lerk gets in my face and then goes vertical, down, up, down, up. Yeah. It's really hard. Like the more vertical they are, the more difficult that extra dimension is.
Like even if you're not that good at biting, but you have Skulks with you, what you can do is like just flap around above him, and like the closer you are at the Marine in like a horizontal distance, if you're like directly above him and you flap around, you're incredibly hard to hit. And
especially if you're at this range. Look at your range right now, and then if I'm like right here, the rifle damage is so low, and the accuracy it has to be a lot more precise. So that if you're flapping around up top and you're at a distance, like a medium distance, it's really hard with a rifle to kill the Lerk.
And the closer I am, like above him, like in the horizontal.
That too, yeah. If you're directly above, it's very difficult. Yeah.
And then the skulls can just come in and bite him because he probably already shot like 40 bullets or most of his magazine at me. He's disoriented. He's not really looking down, and then the skulks can come in and do a lot of damage. So
Spectate me for 1 second too. Finish what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah, like you don't have to necessarily kill or deal that much damage, but if you draw all the fire and survive, and then your teammates kill the Marines, you've done a lot as well.
Okay, so look at, if you guys, can you tell me when you're first person spectating?
We are.
Okay, so look at the mobility of my rifle, like my vision, when I'm just running around. Look at how much freedom of movement I have. Now watch what happens if I'm looking straight up. I'm moving my mouse directly up right now. Straight up. Like moving it up on the mouse pad. This is as... I now lost that entire range that was over there. I have to completely turn and then look this way in order to... Right? So the moment you get over this exact middle point above someone's head to the other side by their back, now all of a sudden the only way they can get to you is by turning around. Either have to do a vertical turn like that and then look up, or... So, like... You keep in mind, when someone's looking up, the range of movement is limited to 1/2 of the 360 dimension. So if you have a circle above your head, only the 80% that's below you is what you look at. It stops right when you're looking straight up. I have to then turn to be able to look in the other direction. So it becomes a much more difficult... So typically Marines want to keep themselves where someone can't go above their heads. They want to keep, know what's behind them, and then they want to make sure they keep distance between them and the other person. But if it's a Lerk and you realize that there's distance, they can spike you down and you have to get out of the room, basically. But looking up gives you such a restricted movement that it's almost ridiculous.
So as a Lerk in a fade, the safest spot, if you're in a fight, is directly above a Marine and like just spazzing out above them and like going over them as often as possible. So like every time I go over him, he has to do a 180-degree turn, and it's very hard to track and shoot me there. And then when he's reloading, I can just come down and fight him.
Damn. That's really good.
You can also see that Nightmare's jumping into you anytime that...
yeah, it's hard to tell.
That way he can turn around and it takes you longer to get behind him.
And like a very good basic muscle memory thing you can do is with the Lerk, when you fight, to immediately go up and flap.
Same with Fade. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Hold on. Oops. Sorry.
The other thing with Lerks is if you turn up your sensitivity a lot, you can bite them, and then like a small jerk of your movement with a little bit of strafing, and you're behind them biting them. So you can really like get in front of and behind them very quickly.
Yeah, same with the Fade, you hit and you go up. Even if you don't like deal damage, if you're just like spending some time above them, they waste so many bullets, and the team can come in and finish it off. So it's not always about killing and
it's not always about you executing the kill.
Yeah. And like the most important thing is staying alive. Like, don't get that kill. Rather get out, heal up, go back in, and keep annoying them. Like as an alien, you want to play annoyingly. You want to annoy the Marines. So every time you can chip them, you can fuck off. They can wait a little bit, come back in. Or you can just fuck off and bite some resources. So it's sometimes you have to like start thinking in a different way. Similarly, if I just keep a Marine busy, if he's here and I keep him busy, I taunt him, then maybe I run into computer labs, bite that resource tower. Maybe I don't get it down, but he's coming and I fuck off, I go somewhere else. That Marine is chasing me. That's a Marine that's not at the front line, and I'm just a Skulk. So if you keep Marines busy, as a single Skulk, you keep like 2 Marines busy and they're not really doing anything to attack you, you're doing really well. You don't have to get a single kill. You don't have to even necessarily kill the resource towers, although that is very good. If you can keep Marines busy, if you can assist, if you can drop like fire and your teammates kill, that's all really good. Like, this game is not about who gets the most kills. It's, like, kills are important, but kills for the team are important, not necessarily who gets the kills.
I need you
so
to
it's
kill
like-
me though, because I can't jump
Yeah.
out because the key is bound to the. Sorry. Oh no! Every time I respawn now. Let me just kill me and I'll
Just-
respawn in base.
Can't you just type Marine in the console?
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I think those were some of the important basics.